welcome to the All Indie Music Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Jesse.
And we're here tonight with Dustin Kennedy of the North Springs Music Festival.
What's going on, guys? How are y'all?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good.
Good.
I'm stoked to have you on. Just a quick little how this kind of came to be. I'm doing my typical scrolling TikTok. You know, I'm always looking for new artists, and for whatever reason, I'm guessing the algorithm was like, "Hey, you like people this guy likes. I'm going to put him in front of you." And I was like, "Holy shit! What a kick-ass festival this guy's got going on."
I appreciate that, man. It's always good when they lead you in a positive direction. I get some weird stuff on my TikTok algorithm, but sometimes it works out. You know?
Yeah, well, I'm thankful
that
it did.
Enough people and are watching enough of the same people that it finally algorithm does something right and puts them right in front of you. So
I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah,
well, it's still crazy to me that people around here would never listen to this podcast. Like my local people are never going to download this, but people in the music world will because I'm just a normal person. So when you text me, it's like, "Hey man, you want to come on the podcast?" I'm like, it's still crazy to me that people's like gives a damn about talking about the music festival.
Right.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, well, and I'll tell you, for us, we like to cover kind of the gamut with the music industry, whether it be artists, songwriters. We've had radio station program managers on, other venue operators, liking to give the entire feel of the music industry to people that love music like we do.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well, so backstory on Jesse and I, we actually met at a music festival. So, it was a much bigger corporate music festival. And we had a lot of fun going, the first few years that we met, and I had been going for a number of years before I met Jesse, but, our likes have changed. Those big festivals have changed and become something that aren't really enjoyable anymore. And we've started kind of searching out these smaller festivals that, really gives you the chance to just sit there and interact with great music. And I don't need some big name DJ spinning tracks in between with 40,000 people to have a good time. I can sit with 500 people. We went to one last year that, what was there, maybe 150 people there?
Yeah, maybe.
And had an incredible time. And, it's like, I think people are gravitating more towards what you're doing than that big festival scene anymore.
Yeah, that's still there's still a market for those big festivals. And I'm just like you guys. I've done them, they're not my favorite. I'm 42. It just gets up,
Right.
But for me, it's just, I think some people don't know any better and they just chase the big names. And whereas you give a festival like mine a chance, maybe you'll catch a few big names before they're big names, and you don't have to spend half a loan, take a loan out to do it. Justin Wells has a great quote. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Justin Wells out of Lexington, Kentucky. Great musician, friend of mine. But, he said that's one of the things that it was like the ultimate compliment for North Springs for me. He just said he thinks that we'll look back a few years that maybe we were kind of a pioneer for do-it-yourself festivals where you don't have to take out a small loan to go stand amongst 40,000 people. And that really meant a lot coming from him.
Yeah, well, if you give me the choice of standing in a packed in 40,000 people or coming and sitting in your hayfield with my lawn chair and a cold drink in my hand, I'm going to take that 10 out of 10 times.
It's definitely a very easygoing, laid-back atmosphere. The only time I've enjoyed a big festival in the last couple of years, Chris Edwards, who actually manages the Filthy Heathens, I heard Bronson name dropping him on your show. He invited me a couple of years ago, and we got I don't know if it was platinum or it was the highest package that Railbird had. It's where they just put you on a golf cart and you drove around the back, so you kind of like had your own entrance. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. So you're just like, you're looking back and there's a 40,000 behind you. You're on a rail. You're on the rail in front of the stage, and the beer is like 5 feet behind you in a little cooler. You just go be like, yeah, I'm platinum. Where's my beer? And then so as the beer's going in, you start messing with, like, you look back and like, hey, how's the poor people back here? How you guys doing?
Right.
I was free. I couldn't afford it, but Chris hooked me up, so I got to live like a baller for a weekend in Railbird. Uh,
Yeah, well, I'm still a fan of CMA Fest.
yeah,
But I've said, like, we went last year, we didn't do the stadium. I don't everybody that's playing Nissan Stadium I've seen already anyway. I want to hit all the small free stages, and I want to see these up and comers, and half of them, like Cassius Culpepper was there. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but I was more stoked to see Cassius than I was anybody at Nissan Stadium last year.
I live 90 minutes from Nashville, and I have never been to CMA Fest at the stadium. I've only been twice in all these years. I went to see Shooter Jennings do a set uh, in
Okay.
2013 or 14, and then I went and just kind of walked around to the free stages maybe in 2019. I just stay the hell out of there when it comes to town. There's too many Kane Brains and Gavin
Right.
Adcocks and Luke Bryans, unfortunately. It's there, not enough Cassius Culpeppers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, there's still some good ones. We were really excited too for kid Blake Whiten. I don't know if you're
no,
familiar
no.
with him. He's got a raspy voice that's incredible. I think he's like, can he drink yet, Jesse? Is he 21 now?
He's 22 or 20, maybe he just turned 23, but that was last year, and I think he either just turned 21 or 22 last year for it. But yeah, just a young kid, but we'd found him and did a New Artist Spotlight and found that he was playing down there, and we went and seen him play at the Sky Bar the one night. That wasn't even part of CMA Fest. It was the night before.
Yep.
And then his set on one of the free stages actually got
Rained
thunderstormed out.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a bummed deal for him. But, I was more excited to see him than go to any other, big name show or anything. And that's kind of where we're at is we've seen shit. The first year we went to CMA Fest was for the 50 year. And I think we seen like 70 different shows in that week that we were there and all the artists. And so it's like, once you see all the artists and now they're on the stage and they got the fireworks going and the pyros and the bright lights and everything. And it's just like, no, I'd rather just be kind of hanging out and chilling in the back somewhere and sitting on a hill or sitting on a hay
we're
bale.
pretty lucky.
Go the honky tonk in the hayfield.
We come up with that catchphrase because my wife, after the first few years, was like, "We need something for the women. We need a T-shirt." And I said, "Well, it's probably gonna be corny. Let's see." And I just started going through my brain. I said, "Hayfield honky tonk," and that's corny enough, isn't it? That'll sell. And I underestimated it because I was like, nobody's buying that shit, But I thought it would sell like within the females maybe a little bit, but we only made like 24 shirts that first year. They sold out instantly. Even dudes were buying them now. So I use both catchphrases: hayfield honky tonk and then the honky tonk in a hayfield. People like it. I don't know, it's kind of corny, but people seem to enjoy it.
Hey, that's right up our alley. I would like to party in a hayfield any day of the week over partying in a city or going into some, packed, crowded bar in Nashville. I'd rather be out in the field somewhere doing some country boy shit.
Us around here, I graduated with 21 people from our high school, county over. I've lived on this farm since I was a child, since I was born. This is a 7 or 8 generation farm. It's been in my family since 1883. So it's my grandpa's, great-grandpa's farm. So this is all we done. That's what we did on the weekends was party in fields anyway. So it's just a big adult version of that.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of a just because I put party in the hayfield, all the people, all the locals, like the older guys at like my dad's age. That's kind of like that's something I've had to overcome because they're just a big party in a hayfield down there. They're just drinking and it's got that stigma because I put the party in the hayfield and like. I'll go out to a local restaurant and they don't even get the, how big it's gotten because like, oh, you do that music thing. I'm like, oh yeah, that music thing where people from 27 states and 4 countries were here to see. This is not the band at the county fair, man. They played the Opry and Red Rocks,
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, right? Is like people like us, we love to travel to festivals. I don't care. Like I do it. I'm more into it than even Jesse is. Jesse's like, damn, like what did we do the one year? Like 100 shows or something, and my wife and his wife were ready to kill us both, and even Jesse was like, I mean, what are you thinking for next year? I'm like, I said, I think we need to try and beat it. And he's like, no, we got to slow it down. And I'm like, no, we got to try and ramp it up.
No, pump
I've
the
had
brakes.
to sell a couple tickets this year, which pains me, but my real job kind of, is just you got to work to keep going to these shows and stuff like that. So I've had to cancel a couple. The ones that I go to, being so close to Nashville, we're so lucky to have Nashville an hour and a half away. Knoxville's 2 hours. The Shed, one of my favorite venues in the world, the Harley Shop up in East Tennessee. We got so much good music around. But I'll go like on a Wednesday night because it seems like a lot of the festival performers that I have are up and coming acts will play Third Lindsley or Exit In or something like that in Nashville.
Yeah.
And, it's like I'll say, hey, I'll tell my wife, I was like, I got tickets to go see the Filthy Heathens or whoever. And she's like, when is it? And I was like, it's Wednesday at 8. She goes, what? I'm not going to that. And it's got to be really cool for my wife to want to partake on a Wednesday at 8. Cody Jinks played a small room here about a month ago. It was a hotel. He played the Analog at Hutton Hotel in Nashville, and that deemed cool enough for her to get out on a Wednesday and be dead tired the next day. But yeah, we got all kinds of cool music around here. It's just within Nashville's. We're driving back through Gallatin at like 12:30. So how the hell do you do this and go to work the next day?
The funny thing is we've got a venue that's about 2 hours from us. I'm way up northern Michigan, and I'll go on a Wednesday or Thursday night, and my wife's like, fuck all that. Nope, ain't going. I'll ask my daughter, she's 12, I'll be like, you want to go with me to this show? Yep. And so she's my road dog. We'll go. We'll get home at like 1 a.m. sometimes, and she'll still get up and go to school the next day. I'll get up and go to work.
The key is just, you've got your daughter, so you're not doing it, but like, I've made it this long in my life without a DUI, so I feel like so I'm not risking it on a Wednesday just to go see a show. So I'll have my couple beers, then have my plate of chicken tenders and play it safe. It's not like if I was going to Nashville when I was 22 or hell even 32, where I'd be getting a room somewhere.
Right.
But I am somewhat responsible, so I can go on 4 hours of sleep as long as I don't have lots of beers. Yeah.
Right.
So.
For is he makes sure we call him Uncle Matt. He makes sure that we stay on the straight and narrow if we got to boogie out of there or something like that, or we always make sure we have somebody sober enough to drive.
Good to have those around. A lot of my friends have gotten sober over the years. It's my two of my best friends have quit drinking, so it's a good trade out.
Yeah,
good trade out.
There you go.
We'll do that too, where we'll say, you know what, we're going to a show in Grand Rapids or something. Maybe it's 3 hours away or whatever, and it's like, you know what, we're gonna get a room because we're gonna have some drinks, we're gonna have some fun, and then we do it. But that's one of the nice things. You've got camping at your festival too, so people can stay right on site and they can have some drinks, and they don't got to worry about driving anywhere.
Yeah, that's a big deal because in all seriousness, you don't want to be responsible for all the fun happening at your place and somebody going out and having a big accident. It's just not something you want to weigh on your conscience. So I've really just as people started traveling, especially just really slid into that camping option, and we're so far out. You really don't have a choice. We're 15 minutes from the nearest gas station, from cell phone service, 45 minutes to the nearest town with a hotel. We have one in Granville, a sponsor, Wildwood Resort Marina, but it's 45 minutes too. So everywhere you're going to stay. There was one hotel close. Adam Hood called me when he come to the festival last year, and he was like, "Hey, it looks like there's one in Red Bull Springs," and he's like, "That's only like 10 or 12 minutes away," it says. And I said, "Yeah, I know the guy. Let me call and see if there's a room." So I called the guy, and I said, "Mr. Cook, I need a room for next weekend." He goes, "Why, son? We got that North Springs Music Festival coming to town. All my rooms are rented." And I said, "Well, Mr. Cook, this is Dustin Kennedy, promoter of the North Springs Music Festival. Thank you. You're welcome for the business. But I need a room, brother. I need one room for Adam Hood and his wife." And he goes, and he didn't have anything. And then he said, next year let's get together and I'll give you a little bit of a cut. We'll work something out. The damn hotel burned down 2 weeks after the festival. The
Oh
only one
shit.
that was remotely closed burned down. So damn sure camping this year, but it's just a whole different scene. You know, once people started finding out about us from out of state, people started coming. They're like, they'll message me on Facebook. Hey, where's the closest hotel? I say Cookville. 45 minutes south, and so we started implementing the camping, and it's just turned into a whole thing. Like we got a group from Florida that comes down, and they request that right back corner. Even my wife, she's like, let's camp. And I said, yeah,
Okay.
we live here. We live on the hill a quarter of a mile away. And she said, yeah, but it'd be fun, wouldn't it?
She wants to camp.
I said, sure. I mean, I just pay for all this shit out of my pocket. I said, we're only X amount of thousands and thousands in the hole, and I can't even afford the porta potties right now. And we're 500. We're still 500 more than that, but we don't have to stay in.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Well, is there anybody, just for people that are checking this out? I know sometimes you can rent campers in different areas from some of those websites that are kind of like Airbnbs for campers. Does anyone in that area do that at all, or no?
If anybody's listening, I would Google campers for rent near Whitleyville, Tennessee, Tompkinsville, Kentucky, Lafayette, Tennessee. Lafayette, as most people call it, but it's Lafayette here. That's the two. I don't really know. They're pretty limited. But I do know that if you fly into Nashville, there's a boatload of places where you can rent a camper,
rent an RV.
Yeah, so there's options, and it is non-electric. I mean, everybody's like, oh, there's no electric. I'm like, I mean, that hayfield's not a gimmick. It's a real hayfield. We don't have electric out here. We have to put an emergency pole up just to have stage power.
What about generators for campers? Is that a go or no go?
I mean, I listened to people bitch about it the next morning when they couldn't sleep because the person next to them had a generator running all night. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people anymore, like I know I've got one of those quiet run, inverter generators, and those aren't nearly as bad as the old ones where it sounded like somebody parked a Harley next to you. So let's talk a little bit about
festivals. They don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So some of these artists, I just kind of want to touch on because, like, we had talked previously about a lot of the folks that we've got in common, and one of our buddies, Waylon Hannels, played your festival before. We just saw him with Brian Martin in Flint a couple weeks ago, and he's like, Dustin Kennedy, is that who you're talking to? I'm like, yeah, I shot him a message, and he's like, he's a good dude. And I said, yeah, we're looking at maybe going down there this year. And he's like, oh, dude, you got to do it.
Man, he's a good kid, and I need to bring Waylon back. The problem is it fills up so fast before you realize it. You have too many, like, I had this many names I knew was coming back. This was kind of like some new target names that you want to work in, like first-time guests, right? And I've suckered myself into making good friends early on with some guys that I'll just stay very loyal to and find a spot for them. So sometimes you go in with 6 to 8 spots already locked down because you put your buddies on it. And I lost a couple of those spots this year to people who I think a lot of. But I mean, I'm trying to keep it fresh, and by the end of the 5 or 6 here, then the 5 or 6 you got confirmed, and a couple first timers, you got about 40 dwindle down to about 6 to 8 spots, and that's tough because Waylon did a hell of a job down here. His mom and dad came; they were really cool. They were a fun hang, and I think the world of them. So if they're listening, it's nothing personal, man. I want to get Waylon back down here. I believe in him. I found him on SavingCountryMusic.com, an article I did about him. Shit, he was great. Maybe one day we'll bring him back.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not the only one. I mean, that's what really drew me after seeing your first TikTok video, and I'm like, where the hell is this at?
That's the best T-shirt we sell. Where they make us North Springs.
Well, and what a great town for a country festival, right? Whitleyville. I don't know that it gets any more country than that.
No.
Yeah. So, in addition, I think I'm rocking a Kevin Thomas shirt tonight, who I know you've got this year. Kevin's a good dude. We did a artist spotlight on him this year. And I know you've got Channing Wilson, who is absolutely freaking incredible. We did an artist spotlight on him before. The Filthy Heathens we just had on, I think 2 weeks ago on the podcast. So there's a lot of overlap with some great artists, both now and in the past. With Wade Jennings, we've done some stuff with him in the past, and them Dirty Roses, Taylor Austin Die, the Creakers. We had the Creakers on. Just a lot of the same music. So when I started looking, and I'm like, well, this dude is my kind of people, right? He likes the same kind of music I like, and bringing in the same people. So even the ones where I'm like, I don't really know who that is. Let me go give them a quick follow, because I want their stuff to show up. They obviously are. If this guy and I like, so many of the same people, he's not going to steer me wrong on one of these other.
Has there been anybody that you have found that you didn't know that you can think of?
There was a couple of people, like, I didn't know who Addison Johnson was originally, and went and looked him up and was like, oh shit, okay, all right, I like this, but West Ship, already know about West Ship, Ben Chapman, follow Ben Chapman, Rye Davis, Joe Stan Band, a bunch of these I already follow, Taylor Honeycutt, and so I'm just like, holy shit, like, I know those aren't, like, the people that are country radio people won't get it, right? They're going to be like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Probably to all of them.
Every
right?
One of them, trust me.
Right. Yeah. We got that when we did Channing Wilson, which to me, Channing Wilson is a huge freaking name. Right. But I'm a songwriter junkie. So I've been knowing about him, because of him being a phenomenal songwriter. And, even when we did the spotlight on him, people were like, who's that? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, where do you get your music from?
Tree Radio, that's where they get it from.
It is hard to find, because used to there wasn't, Apple and Spotify has been around for a long time, but there's just like it's a plethora of music. It's like it's almost overwhelming to me. Like, because people will send me stuff, and it's hard for me to keep up, because with a real job and a couple other side hobbies and stuff, it's just like I have missed out on people that, like, somebody will send me something, and I don't remember who it was, but I screenshot it. It worked out. I ended up booking them. I can't remember who the hell it was, but I screenshot them, and then I finally was interested, and I looked back at, like, photos, and I was like, I found them 3 years ago, and I'm just now starting to get into them. I can't remember who it was, but
right.
I fight that battle around here. So the first 3 years, and I'm sure we'll talk about the history as we get into it, but like the first 3 years was very small, intimate, all acoustic. There was no full bands the first 3 years. And so I really try to pander to the local, to the local crowd, and try to get them to really dig into some of these new artists that I was bringing and all that. And fourth year, when I brought Cody Canada, that opened some eyeballs up online, at least. Bringing Cody Canada was huge. But still, it's like people see the flyer. And my favorite story I love to tell, as far as what you do locally versus what you're doing nationally, I went over to the next town over, Red Bull and Springs, was hanging a flyer for the 2024 year. This old man walks up to me, he goes, he kind of got his hand on his hips, and he goes, them Dirty Roses, Ward Davis, Taylor Honeycutt. I've never heard none of these, son. And I said, well, man, they're doing some cool stuff, but they're just not household names. He went, first year. And I said, fifth year. He kind of smacks me on the shoulder, and he said, well, good luck with that. And I was like, that's 10, because he goes, North Springs down the hill here? And I said, yes, sir. And then he wasn't dogging, he just being an old dude that didn't know, but he was, in his own way, he was like kind of crapping on the festival, but and then 4 days later, Taylor Honeycutt was opening for Red Clay Strays at the Ryman. And I was going to see her and her band, and again, it was the first year she was coming, so a month prior to her coming here, and this lady comes, just turns around and looks, and if I've told this story once, told it 50 times, but she just keeps turning around, looking, and I asked my best friend, I was like, I don't know this lady that keeps turning around, And he's like, it's probably because I'm so damn good looking. She's checking me out, you know. Um, she finally comes up,
That would be
Sounds
Jesse.
like
He'd
something I
say
would
that.
say.
and she finally comes up. She's like, I know I'm being awkward, but and looking, but are you Dustin Kennedy that runs North Springs Music Festival? And I said, you got to be shitting me. They don't even know me in my hometown, you know. And he said, well, me and my husband have been watching it on Facebook, and we're excited about coming. I said, do you live here in Nashville? She said, no, I live in Alaska. I was like, man, despite
Wow.
it's getting out there, but my own hometown sleeping on it, you know.
Yeah. Well, there's something to that, right? Because when we just went to that Brian Martin show I was talking about a couple minutes ago, we do the podcast and then we do these reels and stuff like that. And our Facebook this year has
Yeah,
blown up. We're pushing 110,000 almost on
wow, man, that's
Facebook
awesome.
now, which is absolute insanity. But we're just there. We grab some drinks at the bar and we're talking, and some guy's just standing over here and he's looking at us, and I have no clue who the guy is, and I'm kind of watching him out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, the fuck does this guy want? Like, why is he standing here?
Yeah.
Like, and then we stopped talking for a second, and he's like, hey, do you guys care if I get a picture real quick? And I was like, are we in his way of something? And he wanted to get a picture with us, and I'm like, this is fucking weird. Like, dudes from Canada run into him at a concert in Flint, Michigan, and wanting to get a picture with us. I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess. I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
Whatever.
no, that's cool.
So it's weird when you do something which, and I've picked up obviously from you, like, you do this because you love
Yeah,
music. That's the same reason we do this, because we love music and we love turning people on to new artists, which is the biggest reason we do the podcast, is to just share music with people. We don't make shit. We've put thousands of dollars into this. Facebook's finally starting to throw a few crumbs our way. But at this rate, it'll probably take about 14
yeah.
years to make up what we've spent already on Facebook paying us.
I saw your followers, and that is great, and that's awesome. And we don't have that many followers on Facebook. We got like 7,500, and it is what it is, right? But I didn't get pissed off about that number until my wife sent me a video of our neighbor, actually the one that I was talking about from Michigan, that moved down here and bought the Head Start building. She has some cat. I'd have to look it up on Facebook. It's like this big creepy ass cat. They're called. It starts with an S. I can't even remember what it.
Oh, I've
With the
seen
little
those
pointy ears, the
before.
creepy as hell.
Pointy
Yeah, so
ears.
she's like, check out
Yeah.
Rachel's cat. So I clicked on the link, and it led me to a Facebook page. Like, oh, she's got a Facebook page for her cat. The damn cat's got 18,500 fucking followers. I created the whole festival from scratch over 7 years. I've got 7,500. The damn cat's got 18,000.
Yeah. The internet is a fucking weird place, right? Like, I struggle tremendously. And I like all kinds of country, right? I love outlaw country. I love independent country, but I like radio country too. And, we, what was it? I don't know, a week or two ago, I went and seen Mitchell Tenpenny, and he was at our local casino. And anytime there's live music in my town and it's somebody that I remotely like, I'm going, because I'm supporting music. I want you to keep bringing people in, even if they're not, at the top of my list, I'm still going to go support it. And we've actually been big fan. I actually like his wife more. Sorry, Mitchell, if you see this, but Megan's great. But it actually bothers me tremendously that I look at somebody like her, and she's unbelievably talented, and we have more followers than her off of a podcast and then doing reels asking a stupid fucking question, right? I'm a fat guy asking a question. Jesse's not a fat guy, but still just some random dude asking a question, and somehow we end up with more followers than somebody with more talent in her left foot than the two of us put together.
It's wild.
Talent here, no talent at all. It's just we're regurgitating lines of people that have extreme talent,
right?
And just asking questions, and somehow the internet decided to make one of the videos go viral, and next thing you know, people are just hopping on left and right. And it's like, and that's the funny part too, is this was just what, 2 months ago, Matt,
February.
something like that. Before that, I think we had 800 followers. And all of a sudden now we have 108,000 followers on Facebook, but yet like on our YouTube, it's like we have to tell people like, hey, we're more than just do you think you know country music trivia. We actually have a podcast, and that's where the cool shit happens, where we have people like you on to talk about music festivals. We have artists on, like people with actual like talent and putting music together, and we're just sitting here. Do you think you know country music? Like,
the nice thing is,
so, yeah,
is that that's
weird.
converting people, which is what we wanted it to do. Right. So if you go a year ago and look at a podcast clip, you know, with Waylon, for example, maybe that clip had, you know, 300, 500, 1,000, 2,500 views. Now, like, we just had Bronson on, and I think every one of those reels we did, you know, 5,000 plus views on. We had Shayna G that we recorded in Nashville last month at her apartment, oddly enough. All of those did, you know, 5,000 plus. So it's definitely converting people over to the podcast, which is a great thing.
Shayna G, I've not met her. I saw her at the NFL draft the other day. I was in Nashville NFL draft, and her and I have messaged on TikTok because she came across the festival on TikTok, and she's somebody very much on my radar about bringing in too. I love that raspy voice of hers. Yeah,
she fucking kills it. Absolutely,
I didn't get to introduce myself.
She's phenomenal.
What's that?
I said she's phenomenal, especially live. Like, she's a cool person to talk to, but yeah, seeing her on stage, like,
I only got to see about 10 minutes because we just popped in whatever bar she was in. We were just walking down Broadway going to we went to a little sports betting bar on 2nd Avenue, and I saw her kind of from the side, and I said, I think I've messaged this girl on TikTok back and forth about coming to play the festival. We bounce in here real quick. So we stopped and had a beer, listened to her do about 2 or 3 songs, and I just didn't want to bother her in the middle of the set and introduce myself. But when I was hungover for about 2 days after that trip, so I never messaged her to tell her senior. But yeah, but going back to some of those guys, I mean, I just want to touch on a couple of those names that you mentioned about new, you know, likes and stuff. Probably like 15 years ago, I was still listening to a lot of pop radio country because I didn't know any better, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it. But Shooter Jennings at that time was like going above and beyond to put out independent artists. So he introduced me to a whole world of music I never knew existed, and probably the coolest show I went to that changed my life was a Waylon Jennings birthday bash at a greenhouse in Nashville in June 2012. And Shooter came in with his eyes about this open. Jamie Johnson's been in the parking lot with the Devil's Lettuce, and Shooter gets on there. He's like, "Well, tonight would have been my dad's 75th birthday," and he's like, "You're gonna tell your friends years from now that you saw some of these people." And man, it was a free show to start with. So a free show in June 2012. I was introduced to Leroy Virgil from Hellbound Glory, Justin Wells, Whitey Morgan, the Michigan boy, and Sturgill Simpson for free in a greenhouse.
Jesus Christ.
A year before High Top Mountain came out, and that just changed my trajectory in my opinion on everything. And I asked Shooter, I was like, man, this is blowing me away. And I was like, give me one more name I need to know. And he said, there's a cat down in Fort Worth, and he's a bad son of a bitch. His name's Jason Eady. And through Jason Eady, who he was dating and then eventually married Courtney Patton, on YouTube, I found a video of Courtney Patton with Cody Jinks, and I found Cody Jinks, then Ward Davis, and it was like off and running, like a whole new world of music I was exposed to just through that one show. And with Shooter, and Jason Eady's a friend of mine now, and he played my festival, and he played my 40th birthday a couple years ago. And
see, we need to do a festival, Jesse. I want to play in my birthday too.
That was cool.
I mean, your 50th is next year, so I mean, maybe we got to get somebody for it.
It's not next year, asshole. I'm 47.
I ended up having Jason Eady, Justin Wells, Addison Johnson, and Ryan Davis played my 40th. That was 4 of my dudes I'm really close with. And Addison and Ryan, I can't beat the drum enough for Addison and Ryan. As soon as you said, I had a feeling you were going to say Addison Johnson. You can go watch Addison anywhere in the world. and he's going to play the same show, but you have to experience it at North Springs Music Festival. He's one of the few dudes that does it acoustic, you know, and he'll follow a full band. And I get it on paper. People's like, that's insane. You're putting an acoustic act after a full band. That's not doing him any favors. And I said, you've not seen Addison at North Springs. And you can go on my TikTok, and there's a clip to where I came out before his last song, and I got on stage and I said, "Y'all sing this loud every year. It's a song Out of Control. If you've heard it."
Yeah.
And I said, "Y'all sing it every year. Sing it loud as shit this year. I want this to be the loudest recording on the internet, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, MySpace, which people got." MySpace
Right.
Man, that crowd, dude, go look that video up, please, and just see. Addison is so damn good. He's actually doing a new album release party next month in Nashville. That'd be a good show to come down to.
Oh, nice.
June 26th.
Nice.
You're not doing anything.
June 26th. Man, I don't know if we can make another Nashville trip already. My wife might kill me because we just did one last month that we came down for. And it's like, you know, we're supposed to be going, you know, I'm trying to talk her into going to your festival. So if I go in June, she'd be like, well, we're not going in October then.
That makes no
she's
sense.
like, I cost too much money. That's the
I got
problem.
you guys on tickets at the festival. See, I saved you some money right there.
Motherfucker.
Tell your wife you have no excuse now. See, now we're gonna put a hurting on the Nashville Palace that night in the Troubadour and the Scoreboard, wherever in Nashville we come that night. You know, I can't speak
Yeah,
on this.
that's what we were at. We were at the Troubadour down there when we were there
That's where
last
Addison's
month.
party's at. That's where the album release is at.
Oh, nice.
Cool ass
That's
place
cool.
there. I like that.
But
Yeah, it's so unassuming in the little strip mall back there behind the
it's
hotels
so weird,
too.
isn't it?
Yeah, when we were going down there, I'm like, the Troubadour, I'm like, I'm pretty sure me and my son threw axes in that shopping center where this is at when we were here a couple years
Sure.
ago. And I pull it up on Google Maps and I was like, it is the same damn place.
Yeah, it's so weird back there. But that's one of the last places in Nashville actually still doing traditional country, though. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to pull up down there. Nobody's going to be singing "Don't Stop Believing" with a bachelorette party at the Troubadour.
Right.
You know,
that's the one thing that I still love Nashville. I'm a
Me
sucker
too.
for Nashville. But I'm not a sucker for Broadway because Broadway's full of suckers. I'm a bigger fan of the listening rooms,
Robert's Western World.
Yeah, I'll always stop in for Robert's. Yep. Yeah, you got to get that.
Got to get a recession special.
Yep. But other than that, if I'm doing shows, I want to be at the Station Inn. I want to be at Third and Lindsley, Exit Inn, Bluebird. I don't want to do the woo-woo girls and frat boys on Broadway.
Well, yes, I agree. And I've been doing it for years and years because we're this close. But Nashville wasn't fun like that. When I was single in my early 20s, Nashville didn't have – I would love to see the Bachelorette Woo Girls in 2004,
Right.
But it wasn't like that in 2004 and 2005.
Shit, when I first started going to Nashville, you could park your car on Broadway.
Acme Feed and Seed used to be Acme Feed and Seed, like the actual feed store on Broadway.
Right.
And I will still go. Everything you just said, I agree. Give me Third and Lindsley on a Wednesday night. Give me the Bluebird on a Wednesday night. I don't like concerts at Bridgestone. They suck. The sound sucks. The seats suck. But if I know that people don't get out of the house much and they want to go to Nashville, I'm still going to do it just for the sake of doing it. I'm going to take them to Legends and probably not to.
Yeah, everyone needs to see Broadway.
And I still, the biggest party I've ever went to down there was the NFL draft in 2019, the first time. And every city's been trying to keep up with Nashville ever since. And, we just got announced yesterday we're getting the Super Bowl in the new Titan Stadium in 2030. That's, man,
2030.
Another level of Nashville just being the. Awesome.
I'm looking forward to the new stadium just because weather's no longer a factor.
Absolutely. You don't catch me in a lot of December games unless they're important. The Titans generally don't have important December games. So my ass ain't there in 20 degrees.
So we kind of talked a little bit about the earlier times, but I do want to talk about 2020 was a fucked up year every way you look at it. But that's when you got your start in this.
Yeah, that's how it happened. I had started, I had a podcast with a childhood friend from 2016 to 2022. We kind of took a couple breaks in between there, but I started like interviewing some musicians as well. And Andrew Pope out of Alabama, independent artist. He's not really as active anymore. He has a great podcast too, though. He just interviewed Mark Chestnut the other day. It was a good interview. We hit it off. We talked for an hour and a half about Hank Jr. and WCW wrestling from 1992, and so long story short, man, we clicked and I said, hey, I'm going to rent the fairgrounds. Come down and just have a little show. So he was the first show I did in January 2019. And then long before I had any business hosted them, I had Jay Sneedy and Courtney Patton in March. Then we kind of took the summer off, fall. And then we had Rod Davis in November. And then we had Justin Wells and Rod Davis in December, and had some local acts. Chris Raines played a few of those shows. So it was kind of catching some traction in our hometown. Like, oh, Dustin's doing this little singer-songwriter deal at the fairgrounds. And we'd have 75 people, maybe, something like that. And like you said, yeah, COVID hit. I remember pulling up from doing a podcast and coming out to my driveway and like coming up and watching the Grizzlies game, and the whole NBA season had shut down. And I was like, what the hell is this? What is this? What do you mean COVID? And we're having to wear a fucking mask everywhere, And we kind of just went into February, March, and people were like, man, when's the next show? I'm like, I don't know if you know it or not. We can't be around each other.
That's what they say, but rules are meant to be broken.
So yeah, and I looked, and the farm where I've got it's a hayfield. It's 25-acre hayfield. We own 650 acres total on this farm, but 25 is right here. The most, we're right behind my dad's house actually. I don't think when my mom passed away, it was his little country store in the 80s and 90s. Ran a little store here for 11 years. I don't think when he remodeled that house, he would ever think there'd be a big ass music festival in his backyard every October. But I kind of just went to him and my grandpa, who I'm lucky still have my grandpa that was, this is his farm. And I said, look, I'm thinking about bringing it was a county trailer, like where they had the Poke Salad Festival here in Gainesboro, just a little full behind trailer. We had Rod Davis, Andrew Pope, Brandon Martin, and then a bunch of local acts. And it rained and rained and rained. And we were wrapping plastic around the stage so all the equipment wouldn't get wet. And there might have been 150 people here that first year. Maybe 150. And I said, well, I guess we need to do this again.
Yeah.
And second year, we had Julie Roberts from Breakdown here from years ago. Remember her?
Yeah.
I met her at Shooter Jennings' show. We stayed connected. So the girls love that. The girls,
Nice.
every girl at 16 years old rode around with a breakup, touching some man, singing "Wake Up Older." And she was a hit, man. Julie was great, and then we had Alex Williams. Alex had just come off tour with Jinx at the time, so 2021 will always be, for all the successes I've had, it was my biggest screw up. I'll never let myself live it down. Somebody that's listening, all my friends are listening, they're rolling their eyes because they know where the story's going. But Ward Davis lived here. He lived 15 minutes from me, and I tried to get him booked. And I was still learning all the independent music in 2020, 2021. You know what I mean? I didn't know all these guys. It just seemed like they came out of nowhere. And so I called True Grit at the time, and I said, hey, Shelby, my name's Dustin Kennedy. I'm just trying to get this festival off the ground. I've met Ward locally. He's interested in possibly playing this thing. He lives 20 minutes max from me. And she looked and said, well, we're looking at that date. He's out in Kansas City that weekend, Dustin. But I've got kind of a newcomer I'd love to offer to you. He's got one album out, and album number 2 will be out by the time October rolls around. She's like, I can give him to you for like 1,500 acoustic or 5,000 full band. And that was a lot of money when I didn't really have a lot of sponsors early on, and ticket sales were at 120, 50, whatever. And she said, his name's Charles Wesley Godwin. We just really feel like he's going to take off. And, even worse, the girl I work with had been telling me about him, how awesome he was, and I'd listened to him just kind of sporadically. I knew his name, but I hadn't like really did a deep dive. I
Oh.
had came home after lunch that day and told her about it. She's like, "You better book him." And I told Shelby's like, maybe next year. And next year was like 30 grand and 60 grand and 100 grand. And
Yeah.
Charles let me know in 2023 I screwed up when I got to tell him that story.
Yeah. Well, I just speaking of him, I just seen, was it earlier today? They put out the list for Spotify House that they do for CMA Fest, and he's playing Spotify House for CMA Fest.
He's doing a couple of appearances I saw there. You guys ever seen him live?
I have not. No, I would love to.
We've since I turned him down from playing my backyard, I've went to Texas, Indiana, and several other states to see Charles Wesley Godwin live. So
and spent more than it would have cost to have him in your
backyard.
Learn,
boys, live and learn.
Live and learn.
That's got to be tough in general, because I've done that before, right? And our buddy Dan, we call him Damn It Dan. He's notorious for that. Where I'll find an artist and I'll send it out to our group and be like, "Hey, you guys need to check this person out. Tell me what you think." Like, I'm digging the shit out of him. I think you guys will like him. And Dan's like the proverbial like, yeah, I guess it's okay, but nothing, whatever. And then he comes back later and he's always like, "Dude, holy shit, have you heard this song? This is a fucking banger." And I'm like, "Yeah, I told you like a year ago to check this dude out." "Well, yeah, the song I listened to, I wasn't a big fan of." I'm like, "So listen to more than one song."
Listen to another one, right? Yeah.
We're all guilty, I guess. We watched him at the.
He actually, Damn It Dan was just down here at my place this past weekend, and I was playing some Kevin Thomas.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, what's this song? This song's really good." And I was like, "It's Kevin Thomas." And he's like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, "Yes, you do. Like, Matt and I have both put videos in the group chat. Like, go look at this dude."
Mm-hmm.
And so then I started playing some more songs, and he's like, I can't remember what song I played, but he's just like, "Yeah, he's all right." And then I played him the Dukes of Hazzard song that Kevin Thomas covers, and he was like, "Oh, this shit's awesome." And then I played a couple other ones, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, this guy's good. Who is this?" And I was like, "It's the same guy. I just played all of his songs for you." Like,
he did that when we first went
more
and
than
saw
just one. If you hear one song that's maybe like, "Oh yeah, it's just okay," like,
yeah.
He was like that with Brian Martin originally. He was like that with Them Dirty Roses originally. He was like that with Cassius originally. Like all of these great artists, and it's like, I don't know what he does, like how he finds them, or what if he's just in a shit mood or something, and just like, fuck that. And then later on, it's like, holy shit, he did that with the Filthy Heathens, which I had found them and was like, these guys are fucking great. And that one only took him about a week, and he called me back and he was like, "You listen to Diamonds in the Rough?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Dan, I have." And he's like, "They're singing about a strip club."
And I'm like,
"Yeah." He's like, "It took me a few times of listening to it." I'm like, "What are they talking about? What's going on here?" And I'm like, "Well, at least you realize they're good now before like too long." I'm like, "We're having them on the podcast next week," and that one was great because they reached out and were like, "Hey, want to have them on the podcast? Here's some info on them." And I'm like, "I don't need no fucking info
needed.
I already follow.
I'm glad they fell in my lap, honestly, because Bronson had messaged me. I didn't know that because I mean, I'm not a huge, festival yet, but I mean, we do get a lot of people messaging, and you don't know who's good, and who's not. You don't have the time to sort through 40 submissions all the time.
Right.
I have a real job. My day to day, I'm a production supervisor at a company in Cookeville. I'm married, 3 kids. I'm on the school board during basketball season. I broadcast high school basketball. Going to time season tickets. I mean, I've got other. This is not just my life, and people are sending me stuff. Well, I didn't know, but Bronson had messaged me prior, and Chris Edwards was managing Tony Logue originally. Tony Logue, the 184, who I'm sure proudly wearing
Okay.
tonight. But then when they went their separate ways, he picked up the Filthy Heathens, and I didn't know the band members, and actually when Chris and I are friends, and he started putting the Heathens on me a little bit, and as it come to find out, Bronson had hit me up the year before. It's like, hey man, I got a band. We would love to play North Springs, and we laugh about that now, but because they came down here, and they're friends of mine, and they killed it down here, and everybody loves them. That Diamond in the Rough song is just, it's unbelievable how much that hit for them, this past time.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see them blow up even more. Just such a good group of dudes and extremely talented, but like, and I think that's part of it too. Is they're like a lot of these guys, they're just so level headed, right? Like, Wes Ship, I love Wes, like, and I love him on social media. He's just who he is, but he engages everybody, and just that to me takes music to another level, right? When you can interact with the artist as a person versus like, oh, here's this person up on this stage, that I wonder what they're actually like. These are the people that you get to know what they're actually like, because they're not so full of themselves. They appreciate every fan they've got, and they love making music for the sake of making music. Not that I'm going to make something hoping that the algorithm puts me into top 40 and I make $1 million.
The Heathens are good. Like you said, the Heathens they don't have egos, man. They're good dudes. They work hard. Their work ethic is off the charts. I mean, Chris has got those guys traveling like hell, all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And with Wes, now me and Wes have these talks because I've been booking Wes since 2022. And I'll see him engaged with some stuff. And I love his engagement because he's smart. He's a smart social media guy. So he knows what to say to engage people. But every now and then I'll text him. I'm like, all right, Wes. Or even like I'll comment. I'm like, no, what now, Wes? Because he's always into it with somebody. I'm like, man, you've got to stop. You've got to stop getting into it. And just yesterday, I troll him a lot because
I think you commented on his AI post, didn't you?
I took my regular North Springs flyer and I put it in Chat GPT and I said, please make me an over the top AI creation to mock this picture. And it was just so over the top. And Wes got it. You know what I mean? He laughed and a bunch of people did. And I left a football meeting last night where we run a little youth football league here in town. Another thing we're in. And I got out and I said, so-and-so mentioned you in a comment. So-and-so commented to you. It was like, one guy was like, well, this really sucks, Dustin Kennedy. And it's like it quoted whatever quote, it said, real lyrics, real but fake picture. And it's like, this isn't funny at all. And I text Wes, I was like, some people just don't know how to use the internet. Like, they don't understand sarcasm, and then I'm just trolling my buddy,
Right.
And this one guy.
Some people are super hung up on the data center shit and the effects on the environment with AI that they just are rabid if you use it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, because I said, well, somebody missed the joke, huh? And he goes, no, I got it, but it wasn't that funny. And he starts going in this in depth about AI, and I was like, I clicked on this picture, and I just want to be like, well, yeah, you look like a good time. I didn't want to be Wes Ship on Wes Ship's post. I didn't want to create controversy and,
right.
But, all those guys, man, and I vouch for Tony Logue. Tony Logue is. Are y'all familiar with Tony in the 184?
Not super familiar, no, but they're me. When the lineup came out, I started going through it, and I'm like, there's so many people that I do know. I need to start dabbling in these ones that I don't know. So I do know who they are because of your festival. And it's probably, I don't know, I want to say it was like 3 months ago, maybe the first time that I, messaged you or commented on one of your posts or something, was like, fuck me running. Now I got to find, the money and time to come to fucking Nashville in October. And you were like, well, we'd love to have you or something. And then it was like, all right, I'm digging more and more into this, and I work, a full-time job running a transportation company, and I've got a kid in travel soccer, and doing this shit too, and so unfortunately, as our Facebook's taken off, I've had way less time to dig into music and listen to social media shit because I'm trying to respond to the nice people and interact with them, and then trying not to want to fucking go thermonuclear on the shit bags that want to always be posting some dumb shit. And it's like, problem with the internet is people forget what it's like to get punched in the fucking mouth, and I wish we could just line everybody up. I don't care if you've been punched in the mouth before, and I'll take one. I'm sponsoring it. I'll take one. Someone gets to punch me in the mouth too, just so I got that reminder. Okay, before I go opening my fucking mouth, that could happen again, and it would fix a lot of these people. I'm gonna still talk shit because I'll throw down. I don't care, but a lot of these people ain't never been hit, and you can tell.
Yeah, everybody's tough on that keyboard, and even I just responded respectfully and just said, "Hey, you missed the joke." And eventually, I got up this morning. 2 of the 3 guys had deleted their comments. I guess I don't know. I didn't rage bait them enough, or what. I'm just not interacting with dumbass people on the internet. I'm just not. Sometimes
that's what I do.
It's
when
hard
people
not to. I agree, because you get like 100 you get 100 positive comments. You get those 2. And then you'll sit there, and the time you spend on those 2 people that don't matter, while everybody else is showing you love. But boy, it's hard. I get it. It's hard.
We've been pretty lucky that a few of our followers have gone after people that have said ignorant shit, and I'll just say, you know what? I hope you have the day you deserve, right. and then that's it, and I'll move on.
Bless
right?
Your heart.
Bless your heart.
Yep, bless your heart. But then I'll go back and look the next day, and somebody will comment back and be like, "Hey, Joe Blow, you're a real fucking asshole. Why don't you do something better with your life?" And I'm like, heart.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Or they'll say something stupid, and then they'll come back and be like, "And yet here you are commenting on their post," and it's like, every comment on our post gets us more interaction, and it puts the algorithm. So I mean, if you want to talk about stupid shit, then whatever. But
that's exactly.
There was
the fans go after them, then it's like, hell yeah.
There was one yesterday. The guy commented and was like, "This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen." And I'm like, well, thanks for taking the time to give us a comment. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Whatever. But we're rabbit holing again. And I want to talk more about your festival, because we haven't even scratched the surface on all the other shit, right? Like, it's not just, the music is phenomenal, right? And anybody that goes and checks any of these people out is not going to be disappointed. I'm certain of that. Right. They may not be your top dog, but you're not going to be like, turn that shit off with any of them, which is great. But you guys got a lot of other stuff going on that looks super freaking fun on top of it. When I first saw it, there was a video. I don't remember if it was TikTok or Facebook, because as soon as I followed you on TikTok, I'm like, okay, I got to follow them on the other socials. And might have been Facebook, and people are riding fucking horses. Right. And
not real horses.
Not real horses. I don't even know what you call those. Stick horses. Yeah.
Stick horses. Yeah.
And they're doing the fucking horse jumping.
Yeah. So
and I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And then I'm like, dude, I could totally see me, Jesse, and Dan doing this shit a couple of cocktails in.
And so what sucks about that is the time. The only thing that sucks about it is the timing, because our we're so jam packed. Like, music starts at 12, and I'm actually maybe having to move up even like 11:30ish range just to get everybody in this year. And because we've been running late, no matter how tight of a ship you run, like on 15-20 minute changeovers, I'm trying to get my headliners from 9:30 to 11, that sweet spot right there. You know what I mean? And it never has it never has worked that way. But so it was like at 11 a.m. this year. It's the Hobby Horse Rodeo. I would love to take credit for it. I can't. It's by a gentleman named Chuck Abramson, sponsored by Robot Monkey. I met Cowboy Chuck, and actually I didn't meet him till last year. He messaged me, and this independent music scene around here is so tight knit community. Like, he knew He was friends with Taylor. He was friends with Rob Linus. So he was coming.
Nice.
He started messaging me on Facebook, and he was telling me about it. And I was like, God dang, this is a insurance liability waiting to happen if I've ever heard. A bunch of old ass people drinking
Yeah.
beer, hurdling stuff. But he promised me, he's like, no, I got my own insurance. Do my own thing. Hey, buddy, what are you doing? Shortly. My 10-year-old. That's why I usually lock the door. He's probably wanting to play a little PlayStation or something. But I forgot where I was at. But yeah, he just he insured me that he would have the insurance covered and all that. And man, this dude, when he got there, I set him up like a huge area in between the car parking and the camping. And I forget what size, like 100 by whatever. And that shit was legit, boys. I mean, he laid it out, and they had people with like swimming pool noodles and hitting you with the noodles as you pass by. And I didn't partake. Oh, they were spraying water at you. But man, I don't know. A lot of the ticket buyers partook, but Tony Logue took it home. Yeah, he's got the whatever the hell that belt buckle.
Nice.
I watched about probably 7 people participate before I had to, run and do something else.
Yeah. But you've got food trucks there, you got people hanging out, you got people doing tattoos. It's just like this whole ass thing going on that's so much more than great music. But you've got great music, and I've seen videos of artists saying basically like they're holding you hostage, like, hey, either you bring me back or I'm buying a ticket and coming back anyway, so you might as well have me fucking play. Right.
Yeah.
So everybody that's going to this is absolutely loving it, from the fans that are growing every single year on to the artists who play all over the world, most of them, and they're like, no, I want to go back to fucking Whitleyville, Tennessee and play
It's
North
all
Springs.
been word of mouth, man. And I tell you what, I've been so blessed, not to be corny, but these artists do talk, and you try to treat people good. And, and what's different about North Springs for the fans and for the artists, it's a big family reunion once you start booking some of these guys together. These guys are going, they're doing this all year. They're not really linking up that much. And then you book some buddies here and there, the down, like the domino effect, I guess, from, if I can tell you just a quick, like, connecting the dots to some artists. Cody Canada is one of my favorite artists ever. I'm the biggest cross Canadian ragweed fan you'll ever meet, right? So Josh Green, who used to work for some labels, and now he's started his own agency and has Joe Stam and Them Dirty Roses, his clients. Blaine Bailey. He's like, hey, I think a good way to get Cody Canada is Them Dirty Roses love Cody Canada. Like, I think I can get you TDR pretty cheap because their idol is Cody. So we bring Them Dirty Roses, who I had seen a few years prior opening for Shooter and loved them anyway. So you didn't have to twist my arm too hard to get the boys from Them Dirty Roses. And
they put on a fucking great show.
Those 4 dudes are so damn great. Like, I never had a stitch of drama with them. They come early, they drink, they hang out, they get my Wi-Fi to watch college football on their bus. They're just so down to. I mean, those boys, I love them to death, and it pains me I didn't bring them this year. The only reason I was just trying to keep things fresh because they were headliners last year and direct to support the last 2. So it personally sucked just to make that decision to go and give them a year off. Then, of course, they go tour with Kid Rock, and god dang, they probably doubled their price, since next year. But I love these guys so much. They're just so badasses. And so the first year they played, about 3 weeks after, they played the Shed in Maryville, Tennessee, the Harley Shop. Taylor Honeycutt's opening the show. I go introduce myself to her husband, who plays guitar, Josh McKenzie. And he's like, oh, that's the festival TDR was talking about last night. So he yells at Taylor. She's like, oh, I want to get on that festival. How do I do it? And I was like, well, I'm here to see you. Don't fuck up. And she says, no, the boys got me so hammered last night, it's impossible for me not to not play well tonight. Like, I'm feeling like crap. So Taylor comes in 2024. She's singing All or Nothing, and the crowd sings that part pretty in the face and ugly as she can be, so loud you can tell she's taken aback by it, right? Like, she just goes and her face lights up, and she looks at her husband, And so she tells everybody that North Springs is her favorite festival outside of like Mile Zero and Key West. Then Ben Chapman's on an interview and he says, "Yeah, man, I was with Taylor Honeycutt." She's like, "There's a guy named Dustin. And he does a concert in the hayfield if you're into that kind of shit." He's like, "Hell yeah, I'm into that kind of shit," you know. And so I got
Right.
Ben Chapman down here last year, and then one day Taylor texts me and she says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm at a birthday party. What's up?" She goes, "Adam Hood wants to play your festival." I said, "Adam Hood?" And she's like, "I didn't give him your cell phone number." I was like, "Yeah, it's Adam Hood. Give him my give me my number." Then the next day I'm sitting at my dad's, an Alabama number pops up, and I said, "Hello." He goes, "Dustin, my name's Adam Hood." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Dude, all my buddies are playing this. I'm best friends with Taylor Honeycutt and Jason Eady. Like, how the hell do I get on this festival?" I was like, "You're Adam Hood. I'll figure out a way."
Right. You ask. That's
Exactly.
how.
If you can get Adam Hood at your festival, you do that every
Big
time,
room.
you know. And then like even Ben's manager, he played it this year and then or last year, and then his manager called me. We went and took a cruise the week after the festival, which everybody locally is like, "Oh, he's getting rich. He's getting rich. He's going on a cruise after the festival." Never mind, I have a real job that pays me, you know. So and then Ben's manager called. I promised my wife, I was like, "Promise, honey, no festival. I'm only getting the Wi-Fi to check on the kids." And I had my first little fruity ass carnival drink in my hand, and it said Alec, Ben Chapman's manager. So I said, "Hello." He's like, "I never get a call from Ben unless something went bad." And I went, "I thought everything went good." He said, Ben said, "Make sure you get me back on North Springs next year." And that just means the world, man.
Nice.
But it's
Yeah.
because they're
Oh,
not just
yeah.
pigeonholed backstage in some uptight security. Like look at the pictures from our website. Taylor's mingling in the crowd. Wes
Yeah.
gets there on Thursday, kicks off his shoe, walks around barefooted, smoke, smoking unintended all weekend. And I mean, all the artists are mingling in the crowd.
Yeah. Well, that's what I seen that, and that was like a huge. I love meeting artists because I want to hear the stories that they tell, and to me, anytime I meet an artist, especially if I end up liking them, it just takes my fan level that much
Yeah.
higher. And a lot of these guys, we're actually going to see several of them in July. Kendall Marvel's doing his honky tonk show up
Oh,
here
that's
in
cool.
Michigan at a venue up here with Joe Stam Band, Ben Chapman, and Trey Penley, which is like, oh fuck yeah. And they're doing a like early VIP writers round where they're selling like 30 or 40 tickets, and they were a little extra.
Yeah.
But I picked up an extra work gig and told my wife, I said, we're fucking going and we're doing the whole thing. We're not just doing the show. We're doing the VIP songwriters, portion beforehand, because that to me is going to
That's
be
gonna
the
be cooler
highlight
than
of the
the
show.
show. Yeah, and those Kendall Marvel experiences are a good time. I went to a couple to Exit In, and Kendall's the guy I got to get on the line of. I've talked to him, and we've messaged some. It just that's got to happen eventually one year. It's
Yeah. Those guys all blend so well, so it doesn't surprise me that they're getting on the phone with their buddies saying that all the same shit that I could see and feel just from your video. So you're doing the right thing with social media, because people that are into music and into this festival idea and these types of artists are going to continue to be drawn there. It's just a matter of them finding you. And for me, I wish I would have found your festival in 2020 because during COVID, I was looking for any music I could, and I was in Tennessee a couple of times because Michigan was one of the bullshit states that tried to lock you down even more. And so I'm hitting the state line like this, and I'm going to Tennessee where I can do something at least.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have known about it sooner, and hopefully we can help spread the word in some way, shape, or form. I know we've got a big audience. Our biggest cities are in Texas and Indianapolis and Louisville, Kentucky.
Cool.
So even though we're
Close,
in Michigan, so hopefully we can help bring people out and make this bigger. I just don't want to make it too big because I like
Yeah.
kind of that smaller
Intimate
size too.
feel.
I don't want to. Yeah, I
Right,
don't want to
yeah.
take anything away. I mean, there's that fine line, and every time it gets a little bigger, like this farm's been in our family for so many years. And I don't want something bad to happen, even though I get really good insurance and I get everything. I have people sign waivers. You just worry about the world these days, and you just like I really love the
Right.
authenticity
Yeah.
and the kind of small feel, like you said, the tattoos. I mean, there's there's a kid in
Yeah.
town who's doing a little mini doc. It's gonna be like a 15, 20-minute documentary. He took some footage last year, and those artist interviews that you saw about him speaking. Um, he didn't get to get up
Yep.
with them that day, so that's how that come about. I texted a few people and had them kind of do some testimonials that people that wanted to do that, and he's like, "What's your like? When are you gonna stop doing this?" I was like, "Shit, man, I don't know. People's getting the logo tattooed now. I got to keep doing it." You know what I mean? So,
Right.
um, it's just getting to the point to where like Indiana travels well. Like that's in Louisville. Like we have so many people in Kentucky. Of course, I dive into that Kentucky market as well. I pull some of that Appalachian. We've had Cole
Yeah.
Chaney early in his career. Cole's a guy that I believe in tremendously. I mean, he's a
Yep.
badass. A guy that I didn't get to bring back this year, and it hurt me. Man, it hurt me. Tim Gooden is one hell of a
Okay.
songwriter, singer songwriter. Him and his wife, I love them to death. And it was that hard decision to be like, he's one of the kind of not originals, but he played since 2023. Along with I
Yeah.
put like some of the originals are like the Rye Davis who headlined the very first show. He's been on every festival except for one when his wife delivered a baby the week of the festival. Rye, Addison, Wes, Tony, and I really put Tim Gooden in that group, and I didn't. It was just one of those guys I just didn't bring back this year, and it hurt. That's what sucks. You get personal relationships, and it's like, well, he's kind of he's working a lot. He's kind of doing the music thing still, but like maybe I'll let Tim take a year off, and that sucks because Tim's one of my guys too, and I believe. I mean, he's so talented. At some point,
Right.
there's only so many slots, and
Many people you can take on,
yeah,
right?
it's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. There's only so many hours in a day.
Unless you extend it for another day and do Thursday through Sunday instead of Thursday through Sunday.
I about died last year, dude. I was like just watching TDR, like just defeated. I just was,
right.
but yeah, it's
Long weekend, right?
It started the week before, and
Set up and
probably all your
everything.
setup and
we
prep
were like
and
12 hours.
Well, one thing I do want to mention too, and this is something really cool for anybody that's listening to this, thinking about going to a kick-ass music festival. Best part about this, well, I shouldn't say the best part. The best part is the music, but the second best part is that with every ticket purchase, whether you do a 1-day, 2-day, or the 3-day, it includes a BYOB
right,
cooler to the
That's it.
festival. So you pride yourself where you talk about this isn't like a corporate festival where you're dropping $500 and $16 for a beer. Shit, where Matt and I met
16. Where are you getting $16 beers
for a beer? I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, BYOB with bring your own cooler, you bring your own chair. So that's like killer right there, because what goes better than partying in a hayfield and a honky tonk than some ice cold Budweisers.
I appreciate you bringing it up because I would have forgot that part, but that is a big seller because that's something that I really believe in, because I have been going to concerts my entire life, and I do get pissed off standing in those lines. You're going to pay it, and actually I should have went up on my ticket prices. Last year I did $20. Like the first 3 years I didn't charge anything, I think, and my wife's like, you have to charge something. Like people are bringing in cases of beer and all that. So I was just kind of just fight my wife a little bit because I'm not greedy. I was like, you're right, $5. And
there you go.
It was like there was dudes all of our size. One, like a 100 ounce or a 100-quart cooler, packing them in. Those guys having them. Like, I see y'all with your 84 beers for $5. So last year I went up on it to $20. So whether you're there 1 day or 3 days, it was $20. And locally on our news and politics page, one guy was like, you forgot where you came from. What happened to that $5 cooler fee?
Oh, Jesus.
Tell him to go.
Yeah.
Tell them to go to Nashville. It's cheaper than buying one drink
really
in Nashville.
Is, man. It's just, and so this year I was like, how can I raise my ticket price? Because if y'all two were together or you brought your wife or whatever, I just was charging literally by the cooler. It wasn't per person. So this year I was like, let's just raise the ticket prices $10 all around, which is still $70 a day or 200 for the artist you get to see is crazy.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you do the numbers on that. That's not going to equate to very high what you're paying. Plus, you get to bring your beer in, and they're like, "What are the rules here?" I'm like, "Act like you've been in public." The American, that's an American dream, Dusty Road, you know.
Yeah, Dan struggles with that sometimes. Our buddy, he forgets how to act in public.
There was one guy last year, man, and he came up. My security was like, "Dustin, we got a guy that's got to go." I said, "Hold up, man. Let me go holler at him because I'm a peacekeeper. You know, I believe in." And he's a big guy.
Second chances.
He's barefooted, got a big gauge earring in, and he's got overalls and cut off, and he's just swaying, baby. He's swaying, and I said, "Hey, brother," and I went and kind of rubbed him on the back a little bit. I said, "What's going on?" He goes, like deer in headlights. He's like, "Am I in trouble?" I was like, "Nah, shit, you ain't in trouble yet." He said, I said, "But now my security guards want to kick you out." I said, "You've been over here." And we had a big 10-foot guitar and 8-foot guitar pick. Like it was a hell of a woodworking project my wife commissioned out. And you may have seen the pictures. It's one of the
people posing with them and stuff.
So, he had bumped into that, and then he hit on somebody's girlfriend. Maybe said a little. Now I shouldn't say that. They just said he was talking to a girl. I shouldn't say he said. But because he may not have been. He may have just been talking. And so I said, "You see that big photo op right there?" I said, "My security guard said you bumped into it." I said, "If you saw the trouble my wife and us went through to get that thing to be steady," I said, my wife is a pit bull. She will kick your ass, then kick my ass. But I didn't kick you out. I said, "Don't be over here talking to me."
Oh, no.
And they said, "I don't want to be that guy."
Looks like we lost him.
"I don't want to be that guy." I said, "We kind of being that guy, just a little bit." I said, "You're double fisted."
I don't know what happened. Hopefully he jumps back in here. There we go.
Go out?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, man, right in the middle of the story. What was the last thing you heard?
You said that your wife was a pit bull going to whoop his ass and whoop your ass.
And then all of a sudden you disappeared. I was like, I think she just kicked his ass.
Yeah, she's getting on to. Yeah. But he said, "I don't want to be that guy." And I said, "Well, you're being that guy just a little bit." I said, "Who'd you come to see?" He's like, "I'm here to see Justin Wells." And I said, "Well, Justin doesn't play for another hour. Addison just took the stage." I said, "Go over and get this ribeye sandwich." And we call this, I said, "This is called water. You need to have a couple waters."
Yeah.
And man, he was cool the rest of the night. So that's just act like you've been in public. No B.
On that drinking topic, for those of us that don't drink beer, could I bring whiskey with me, or is that a no-go?
Well, that's what I don't like to put BYOB. I like to say, because yes, you can bring whiskey. I just say basically anything except for crystal meth and fentanyl. I'll leave that stuff at home. You know.
Okay.
But
cool, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's just I mean, serious. But
my problem with beer anymore is, as I've gotten older, I used to be able to drink a case of beer in a day. Now I drink 2 beers and I feel like I just ate Thanksgiving dinner, and I can't ever get a buzz because I'm too full. So a couple of years back, I switched over to strictly just drinking liquor when I drink because I can't ever catch a buzz off beer. I get too full before I
agree,
get
man.
there.
I've noticed that in my stage of my life too. We've been accused of having moonshine on site as well, and I don't know if you've seen the videos. And it's not just straight moonshine. It's like every flavor you can invent. I'm not going to throw my guy I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I'm just saying there might be a vendor on site that the artists go and see some here and there.
Okay.
You know, and
well, if Jesse's wife comes, is there a vendor that Wes really likes?
Yeah. What?
Because
Wes. Wes is the vendor.
True.
No, but yes. Then But no,
Wife and your wife would get along because she's a pit bull
that's
too.
okay, man. It's okay. Yeah, me and my wife we'll butt heads about 4 or 5 times over the weekend over different things like that. But yeah, Aaron Vinecourt. So there's videos and pictures you've probably seen if you looked enough. Like Bill Taylor, his first year playing. You got to find it somewhere. He's pouring straight moonshine into a fan's cup in the crowd. And then last year, there's a picture of a lady handing a cherry moonshine up to Rob Linus on stage, like he's reaching down from the stage to pick it up. There's a thing of Taylor taking a liquor shot. Jason Eady,
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
Buck Bennett was from Buck's Bar and Grill out in Venice, Nebraska. He was a guest MC last year for me, and we were sitting there by the stage, and Chris Edwards made that happen as well. I know that Tony and the Heathens both have been big at Bucks in Nebraska. And we had a bottle of whiskey, and he goes, "Hey, Jason Eady's not done yet, is he? He's got 2 songs about whiskey he hadn't sung yet." So we walked on stage with that bottle of bourbon, and I had a shot, Jason had a shot, Buck had a shot, and then Aaron Vinecourt was here, and she goes, "All right, Taylor's told me about this moonshine trailer for like a year. Where's it at?" So I missed like half of Ben Chapman's set because I was at the moonshine tent with Aaron Vinecourt.
Sounds like a good reason to miss half a set.
But like I said, I hate telling those stories sometimes because it gets labeled like just a big party like that. But like, what?
Right.
At the same time, we had a children's, like during the daytime, we had like 4 or 5 hours where kids could play, like because families are camping. So there's a kid zone, and like I said, it's at your own discretion. Nobody's ever got arrested. Nobody's ever had a fight. So there is security, like it does. There's alcohol, just like every other concert in the world.
Right. But I think when it's more about the music, like Faster Horses, where Jesse and I met, started out about the music and then turned into this was just a party and that was it. And people would go there and buy festival passes and stay in the infield at MIS and just get shit-face hammered all weekend long and never go to a single show. But I think with what you're doing, you're bringing in artists that people want to see. And yeah, you want to have a cocktail and have a good time, but you don't want to get stupid drunk and miss it. You don't want to be off acting a fool. You want to keep that nice level and just enjoy the hell out of your weekend.
I think if it was going to be one way or the other, it would have started as a party like it did, but it is kind of morphed into it is about the music, because early on it wasn't like I didn't have a vision and I was going to somehow become one of the most revered independent music festivals in the world by artists. I didn't have that vision. I'd be lying to you boys if I knew that was my path. I just knew I knew COVID sucked, and I knew I had some land, and a trailer, and it's just kind of grown, and it's grown organically, and I think people see my genuine why I'm doing it, and
well, and I think that you've got people like not just fans but artists out there saying that. I've literally seen videos where artists have said this is literally the #1 independent festival in the country. And that's not you saying that. That's people that are coming there that are saying that. So you can say whatever you want about yourself. It doesn't make it true. But when everybody that's going there to either perform or to attend is saying those things, you don't need to say it because they've made it true, because they're the ones experiencing it. You don't have to say shit.
I was really flattered when I got those videos back from those guys. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what it meant to a few of them until, and even some of those like Taylor Honeycutt has. I mean, I've seen it on her Instagram story where you've seen musicians be stuck at an airport or something. They'll say, "Ask me questions" on their Instagram stories or whatever.
Yeah.
And somebody asked her, said, favorite festival is like hands down North Springs and Mile Zero. And we don't have the budget or the reputation or history as Mile Zero. So even being in that same conversation is mind blowing to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll get to a point where it does pay for a cruise for you and your wife every year afterwards, at least. And then not too much bigger than that though. Cause I think that's probably what makes it more special, right? Is the size of it isn't astronomical. It's not 40,000 people. It's not 20,000 people. It's not
It's barely
10,000
1,000.
people.
I don't know if we get to 1,000, to be honest.
And to me, I don't know
Great
that it
to
gets
me.
any freaking better
I
than
know.
that. You know, I think
super intimate.
You know, it would be something where honestly, I would say don't ever go over 3 would be like absolute
I agree.
tops, right? And that's what allows it to continue to be special for artists and fans alike, and alleviates the riffraff that just want to come and they hear the
Party.
drinking stories
Right.
maybe, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go get hammered with, you know, the so-and-so's there, they're drinking with fans, I'm gonna go get hammered, and bring their bullshit with them, you know. I think it's great. And you ask any of my friends, my coworkers, like, I've never even been to your festival, right? And I came to you and was like, hey, I want to talk to you. I want to highlight this. This is absolutely the shit that I love. And anyone that I know has heard about your festival now because I'm so hyped. And as soon as I saw it, I'm telling my wife, hey, can we go to Tennessee in October? She's like, we're going in December with the kids. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Would you be flying or driving?
But there's a festival. Oh, we drive.
Oh, then it's nothing then. You're not going to spend a lot of money here. Just don't just don't stop in Gatlinburg, you know, or anything like that.
You're right.
There you go. Yeah, when Matt first told me about the festival, and I was like, okay. I was like, I think you've mentioned it before. And then he started telling me who was coming there or who has played there. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I remember Waylon Hannell telling us that the first time, because we were talking to him about Wade Jennings, and he said the first time that he had met Wade Jennings was actually when they played the festival there. And so I was like, okay, super cool. And then Matt goes, yeah, it's a honky tonk and a hayfield. And I was like, tell me more. And he's like, you know, this person, all these people are going to be there. And I was like, okay, awesome. And he's like, it's in Tennessee. And I was like, okay, sweet, you know. And then he was like, by the way, it's October 8th through the 10th. And I'm a huge bow hunter. And Michigan's bow season starts October 1st. And so I was like, okay. I said, well, that gives me 6 days to shoot my target buck and then take a pause until rut hits, you know, in November. So I was like, all right. Yep, this is sounding better and better. And I was like, actually, October in Tennessee is probably a lot nicer than October in Michigan. So I was like, yeah, it's still going to be nice. And you're in a cornfield, or a hayfield. So, yeah. And then BYOB I was like, oh, yeah.
That's the big one.
The problem is that we might also be in Nashville for like the 20th of September. And so that was where my wife was.
Right.
My wife was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, Megan, I want to go to the Josie Awards. You know, I want to interact with artists and get more content for the podcast and make some more connections with people and everything else. And she's like, okay, so you want to go in April. You still have like 17 shows in the summertime. And then you want to go to Nashville again in September, in October, and then for a week in December with the kids. And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
And she's like, what the fuck is wrong with
because
you?
we're the greatest state. And
I mean, you can always pause that December trip and just go for, you know, the
kids were canceling
hayfield.
Christmas.
What do y'all do?
We're going to the
hayfield or
hayfield.
something?
No, so we had just for the first time this year, we decided, because most of my kids, we got one at home still. The rest of them, we got a big gap. So the first 5, because we got 6 kids.
Jesus Christ.
It took me a while to figure out what caused that.
It's so much fun though.
Right. So there's 5, and the youngest of that 5 is in college right now. He's 21, and then we got a 12-year-old. So they're all gone, and they've all been doing their own shit, married and whatever. And we're like, last year at Christmas, we were like, you know, we should just, instead of doing gifts, let's just do a trip together. And oddly enough, I'm always the one saying Nashville. This time I didn't. It was my oldest daughter was like, what if we did Nashville from Christmas to New Year's, just rent an Airbnb and we all just stay together and, you know, hang out and do whatever. And I'm like, sold. You don't got to ask me to go to Nashville twice. You asked me once. I'm
I
sold
love
on
Nashville, but if I'm leaving Michigan to go somewhere else in December, I'm not going to go somewhere else cold. I'll find a nice beach somewhere.
it. Well, here's the thing: Nashville ain't cold for shit compared to where I'm at in Michigan.
But hey, it gets cold. It gets a lot colder here than people realize, though. I mean, we have ice storms every January and February almost.
Oh yeah, and a little bit of snow too here and there, but like this year, my snow just all finally melted like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I might as well be at the fucking North Pole.
I don't want no part of that. I get I'm a moody little asshole from about December to March. If it, you know, I hate it. Like right now, my time to shine. It's 70, 80 degrees already here. Yeah.
I every year I tell her, I don't know how many more of these winters I can do. We've actually talked about moving to Tennessee or Southern Kentucky because we love that area.
And everybody
so
else. I mean, everybody else. That's why shit's so expensive.
The nice thing is we ain't gonna bring our California shit to your state.
That.
You know,
I love it here. I think it's like where I'm at. I love being on this farm out here in the middle of nowhere. Like I said, I'm on Wi-Fi right now. There's no cell phone service. I mean, I drive 45 minutes to work every day, but you know, you can be in Nashville an hour and a half, Knoxville 2 hours, Gatlinburg 3 hours, Memphis. If you dare to go to Memphis and risk your life, you can be there in 4.5. You know,
right?
So I love it. I love Tennessee. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. But
and everywhere we've looked has been like that 2 hour range outside of Nashville, because that's when we move down there. We're just going to buy some property and live off the land. I'll cash in my 401k, you know, and just call it good. And you know, I told my wife, I said, listen, I got this shit figured out. If I got to work at a Dollar General a couple days a week for a little extra concert money, that's what I'll do. But I don't want to have like a regular full-time job. I just want to go do concerts and keep doing the podcast and enjoy life.
Yeah, man, that's the dream right there. I got a long way till I can do that. So, but yeah,
right? Well,
I want to talk about.
I was gonna say
many years on you, so he's been going at it for quite some time. He's close to Social Security.
Oh well, shit. That's all right.
Yeah, 40. Jesse's not good with math. 47 is not close to Social Security, and he's 45, but he likes to act like he's so much younger.
Because his beard hadn't went all the way yet. See, his beard's not.
That's just for men.
Okay.
I didn't have this until I didn't have that until I met Matt.
That. I got friends like
started this podcast, and now I'm stressing out.
I got friends like Matt too. I understand. So, hey, did Waylon tell y'all about the power going out when he played here?
No.
Wade Jennings. That was the first year. It's growing each year to where like the kickoff party for 23 and 24 was in Gainesboro, over in the county, 15 minutes down the county here, but. So 2024, the year Waylon played, was the first year it went to 2 nights on the farm, exclusive. Way headlined the first night, and Waylon was the first act on Saturday. So he played first, and then Parker Barrow went second. Or no, I think the Baker Blankenship kid, he went viral. He lives like 30 minutes up the next county. And
yeah, he's good too.
Crazy, man, because and I've missed out on another kid that was somewhat local this year because I act like can't be talent in this area, apparently, you know, and everybody's like Baker Blankenship. I was like, ain't that the kids on the fishing team at Livingston? Like, I looked at his Facebook. He just did fishing gear in high school, you know, like,
right.
He flipped burgers at Wayne's Grill or whatever. Then, like, the 6th person that shot me his name, I was like, I guess I'm going to listen to this song. And that's when that Maxed Out song was just taking off. And I messaged him on Facebook. I was like, hey, kid, I got a festival over in Jackson County. He's like, oh, shit, okay. And, man, by the time I got him, he went viral. And
right.
I had been promised a slot by a band that had taken off on TikTok. So I'd already been burnt earlier in the year by that band. So I was like, hey, brother, are we good? He's like, yeah, man, you're literally 30 minutes from my house. I'm playing it. And he was getting big money already as a solo act. and he was like, "I'm going to play for free just because you gave me a shot before I even took off." And
Oh,
but I paid him
nice.
not much, but I paid him a little something, and then I watched him headline or open to the Ryman for 49 Winchester this past November, so that he made it, and then
Yeah, absolutely.
the creature.
But that's great though that he gave you his word. I always like young people. We like to think that there's not a lot of good young
Yeah.
people out there anymore, but to blow up and then tell you I'd play for free, like because you gave him that shot, that is absolutely
It was
stand
awesome.
up.
And the other band I'm talking about, it sucked because I saw them on TikTok and I was thinking, man, they're going to take off. So I messaged their management, and it's just one of those deals, man. We agreed on a number 2 different times, and it like about a month of like, hey, I'm ready to post this. Well, let's hold off. We got these other announcements. And I'm like, oh, they're dicking me around because, and it wasn't the band, it's always a management kind of deal at the time, the band
Right.
probably knew nothing about it. And it's like, I was like, just let me know soon, man. I need to advertise one way or the other. And they ended up going on tour with an act that they should have went on tour with. You know what I mean? It sucked. And I
Yeah.
was bitter about it. I was butthurt about it for a little bit. And, because I was like, I did what you're supposed to do. I found an act before they blew up. I gave them, most of the money they were looking for, uh,
Yep.
and thought, oh shit, I'm gonna get these guys before they blow. And man, they've blew up. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I've spoke my piece of that with their former. And no disrespect to those guys. Again, they probably didn't know it. But
Right.
on the flip side of that, you had the Creekers this past year, and I watched them open for Cole Chaney in March of 2024 in Knoxville, and I liked them that night. And I kept it kind of in my brain. Then I went to the Bell Theater in Pineville, Kentucky in December, and they had tightened up their game. They added Anna Blanton on fiddle,
Yep.
and man, she's amazing. So I called the manager immediately after Pineville. I was like, let's just go ahead and book this for North Springs next year. Then, of course, in the spring, Tennessee goes viral on TikTok. And I
Right.
called her manager. I was like, hey, Tim, I've got the Creekers at this amount of money at this time slot on Friday. And they honored it, man. They came and played for very little money.
They are so fucking great. I tell you what, we did an artist
So
spotlight
good,
on
man.
them and went to see them at a show, and I just happened to be doing a video, and they come out from doing sound check. Tim comes over to me, recognized me from us doing the artist spotlight, and they were like, hey, you want to come hang out? And it was like, fuck yeah, I do. So we go back to the green room, and we're just sitting there drinking whiskey. They're having beers, and I don't remember if it was Alan or
Tanner.
I'm trying to. I don't remember if it was Tanner or Alan. One of them was like, "Hey, you want to fucking record something right now?" And I was like, "Shit, yeah, I do." So I had another buddy with me. Jesse had to miss that show, and I had another buddy with me that just took my phone, and we just recorded like a 30-minute podcast in the green room at the machine shop in Flint, just shooting the shit. And I tell you what, I've never wanted to go hang out with some motherfuckers off the road more than those guys. I don't know in how
They're
long.
just good. They're good dudes, man. They actually, it worked better for them because they had to hit the road. So that like an early spot on Friday was that it actually benefited them as well. We got people in seats earlier than generally we would on an early Friday show. But yeah, I was a little scared because when management gets involved, luckily I knew their actual manager, so Tim helped that. Tim Parks is a great guy out of Kentucky, and
Yeah, Tim is a good
so.
dude.
But I'm sure you've seen the video. Anna Blanton had went on this streak where she was playing different festivals, and like she rode a horse through the street in Manchester Music Festival, I think it was, or wherever she was.
Yeah.
And like her husband Charlie, she was on his shoulders. So I texted her the week of the festival. I was like, hey, I got an idea. I said, I want to bring you out throughout the crowd on my Polaris General. I want to put you on the back of my side by
Okay.
side. I want you to just saw the hell out of that fiddle going through the crowd. And she's like, I fucking love it. Let's do it. And so then we got there that day, and as we were setting up the weekend before, I put the hay bales next to the stage, and I'm just sitting there kind of looking out in the field, and it just dawns on me. So when she gets there that day, I was like, hey, change of plans. I'm still taking you through the crowd on the side by side, but I've got you a step ladder that you can't see on the other side of this hay bale. I'm going to pull you up to the hay bale, and I want you to get up on the hay bale and play fiddle before you get on stage. And
Oh,
she's like, I
nice.
love it. And it was just adding a little something that people remember, about making moments at this point.
Yeah.
It's like making cool moments that people, I mean, authentic moments in a way, but like, I know she's already thinking about how she can up her game.
Yeah, she's a showman
She's
anyway.
a
Like,
badass.
her showmanship is top notch.
So we come through, and somebody had been on my back of my side by side. It almost ended up in tragedy because the bed didn't shut good. And when she went to climb on, the bed went up, and she was damn like half
Oh,
an inch from
shit.
losing. She was about a half inch from losing 3 teeth, trying to get up in there. And I was like, I was looking at my rear view. I was like, who didn't put the gate down? Who didn't put the bed down right? But we drove through
Oh,
the crowd
God.
just so, I drove really slow. For one, she was standing on the back. Didn't want to throw her off, but
Yeah.
also I wanted plenty of people to be able to take those pictures and videos with North Springs in the background. And
Yeah, those viral moments like that can make a big impact
she got on the
online.
hay bale and done her little dance. I mean, she's awesome. And those guys that went on, I mean, they're opening for Eric Church at Red Rocks this year. I mean, they're
I
opening in
know.
Nashville for Turnpike. And man, they deserve it. They're great guys. But um, it, I told all those stories to get back to the point about the power going out. But so Waylon played, Baker played, and Parker Barrow played, and they're a Southern rock band in Alabama, female led. They're great. I don't know if you high energy, if you guys seen those. So I'm sitting there thinking they're kind of going over their allotted time, and I'm panicking like, come on, let's don't get behind, right? But they're awesome, so I really didn't care that they were rocking out, And then I start seeing
Right.
just like power just starts going down, and I Vince McMahon power walk to the back of the stage, and my buddy's like, "We're screwed." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "The transformer just popped." And I said,
Oh,
"Oh gosh,"
no.
like I said, we're out in the middle of nowhere, 45 minutes from there's electric company that can come work on anything. So one of my best friends works for the electric company, and we had to go to my house and get on the landline and call the guy to come fix the transformers. We go back down.
Oh,
The day had
shit.
just started. I mean, 3 acts up, and I had just been over there going, man, the kickoff party went great. Friday night, the first night of the farms, great. We got beautiful weather. What can go wrong? Then
And then something
God's
goes
like,
wrong.
watch this, and so
Yeah.
I go to Bill Taylor's manager, Jason Parton, who I love so much, and he goes, "Well, Bubba, all you gotta do is ask Bill. He don't care. He ain't gonna play. He don't care to play acoustic. He'll go up there with no microphone, do it a cappella, brother. You just gotta ask him." So I go to Bill and I said, "Brother, we got two things we can do." I said, we're already like 45 minutes behind, and we got a whole day of music. So we can wait and keep being delayed, or you can go up here with no power. He's like, fuck that power. He said,
No,
you get him to the
nice.
stage, and I'm going to do my thing. And Anna Blanton was playing with him that year, too. Her and her husband, Charlie. It was the first show he played. And Mr. Cox, I call him. And sure enough, I got on. Somebody had me a bullhorn like I was Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart. I didn't know where it came from. And I was like, and it didn't hit me till I got out of the crowd. I was like, where the hell did the bullhorn come from? So handily, readily. But so I just said, hey guys, obviously we have no power. Bill Taylor's requesting your presence to the stage. So everybody got up and moved to the front of the stage, and they played their entire 45-minute set with no power. That was
Wow.
powerful, man. That's what people will always remember. That one.
Absolutely. How cool, man. That's one of those stories that, like, when shit goes sideways, you're like, oh, fuck me. And then afterwards you're like, holy shit, that was probably the best thing that could have happened.
And then poor Ward Davis, man, I felt for him so bad being my headliner that year. And he got there and he was like, I shouldn't quote this probably. He just said, "Hey, how are we on time?" And I said, "Well, we had a transformer blow. We're about an hour and 15 minutes at least behind." And he just said he needed to go find something. and he wasn't drinking anymore. So he just said,
Right.
he went and found West, I guess.
Understandable.
He went and found West, probably.
Right. Holy shit, man. Well, I'll tell you what, I would love to keep going, but I know your kid was already popping in like, what the hell's going on, Dad? We got shit to do. And I told you we'd probably go an hour. We've gone an hour and 45.
I'm sorry, guys.
And hey, listen, I don't mind at all. I think this has
what we
been
like.
great.
We
And
love it.
I would keep going. I feel bad that your kid's going to probably be like, what the shit, Dad? Screw them. Y'all need music guys. They kept you out all damn night, you know? But I loved having you on. I love what you're doing. I want to promote the hell out of it for you, for just your love of music lines up so much with mine that I'm like, hell yeah, I want to do everything I can for this.
That means a lot, man. I do appreciate it because word of mouth is so strong, and you guys, what you guys are doing, congratulations on y'all's success. I know that 100,000. I mean, that's badass. I know it's not easy, so
it's fucking crazy. I ain't even never thought it would happen.
Right. We're gonna make sure that, you know, when this podcast drops, that we're gonna link all your socials and everything, the website, we're gonna the Facebook, we're gonna link that in all the socials, so that way, you know, everybody that follows us can make sure that they're going on. And we got plenty of time. It's not till October 10th.
Yep.
Or October 8th
through the 10th. Yeah.
So yep, we got plenty of time. Make sure you guys are going on, follow them on Facebook, check out the website. You know, watch the videos, the TikToks and everything like that to, you know, watch. I know I'm going to go on and look for all these videos that you were talking about and everything. Some that I have seen a few, but I'm going to be checking the rest of them out. I
appreciate it. We need to make some new ones, and I got to get some content with some. I mean, we didn't really, and we'll do it maybe another time, but I just kind of, we talked about the past more than like, I guess I don't do a very good job of hyping what's coming.
We touched on a little bit of them, but we'll keep putting shit out. Absolutely. To hype I mean, we can go through the entire lineup right now if you want. I'm totally fine with that.
The main thing to touch is like, you know, Silverado being here. Silverado formerly Mike and the Moon Pies. I mean, they're a big deal. This is their first time playing. They'll be closing out the Saturday night. That was a big deal. And I tell you what, their manager, this is another funny story. I sent an offer for Silverado, and we were kind of negotiating back and forth. And he called me one day, and he was like, their manager said, well, the boys just spent the weekend with Jason Eady, Taylor Honeycutt, Adam Hood, and Addison Johnson. So I guess it's going to happen. You know, they're wanting to play it. So Chris Knight,
that's awesome.
Is somebody I've listened to since I was probably 17 years old. He's 67, 65 years old, whatever he is now. But Chris Knight's a guy that I don't think gets his flowers in the business. You know, you think of Steve Earle and John Prine, which is two of his biggest influences. And Chris Knight has influenced so many people throughout the years in Americana music. He's a hell of a songwriter. And it was one of those deals. I hosted a show with him years ago and never tried to bring him to the festival. And I was like, he's one of my top 5 Americana acts of all time. And like, you know, if he's there dangling, like, why don't you bring that guy? You know, and so finally we made that happen. And then Taylor, I've name dropped her several times in this podcast. We've had a lot of female acts, and for whatever reason, I think everything happens for a reason, because her and I and her band have gotten pretty close. And so it means a lot to me. I called her. I told her months in advance. I said, you're going to be the first female headliner in history of this festival. And I said, that means a lot to me because you mean a lot to me. And I dropped a video one day saying that, and you know that, hey, we've never had it. And I did it was me talking originally, and I went into a straight highlight clip of her, and she texted me, he's like, great, I'm fucking crying now. Thank you so much. You know, so she's like, I promise I will play a show. This guy means a lot. And so that's good for you know, like TDR played direct support to Cody Canada and Ward Davis for 2 years. And then last year I was like, this year's about you boys. You know, you take a hell of a pay cut to work with my budget to be here because you want to be here. And trust me, those boys are giving me shit because they're not here this year. You know, and I can't get them back fast enough, and hope it happens. And Kenny Fiedler's playing here this year from Oklahoma. A lot of people are hyped about him. I don't know. We don't have to go through the whole lineup, but I just want to make sure
Well, you know who else I didn't touch on either, though, is Jordan Lee King, who you've got there this year. He actually opened for the Creekers when I saw him a couple months ago. He came up on a short run with them into Michigan, Ohio, and I think Indiana, and he put on a great show. I wasn't familiar with him before that. Met him before the show when we were hanging out backstage.
Talented kid, man.
And then he put on a great show.
He's
Yeah.
also managed by Jason Parton in the farm management. So, I lost Tim. I lost Tim good this year, but I picked up Jordan. And Bill Taylor. Like I said, Bill's with Jason. So, just taking a chance on some of those guys. I also saw him open for the Creekers and Cole Chaney. Now, I've been talking to Cole Chaney a little bit this week. Cole's not played since 2023, and that's been a requested name ever since he's not been playing here. A lot
Right.
people don't know that, but Cole and I have been texting, and I've been talking to his manager, and you just never say never when you got 29 acts, but if you can get that guy back, I'm trying to figure out.
If you got 29, what's 30?
Well, depending on a lot of things there, but yes, I agree.
Right,
Just wait to make that 29 plus one post and teased if we can make that happen. But I do want to say, man, just because I'm independent and I depend on everything, I want to give a big shout out and to my sponsors. I've got every year. It's just I've got too many to name, and because if I name one, I got to name 70. But if they're listening, and they will because they're that good, people give a damn about me. It's not even like businesses all the time. It's the local businesses the local businesses here help me out, but also I've got music lovers, guys. You wouldn't believe. I've had to make Facebook posts for people I've never met yet because they want to send me $750. And I'm such a stupid business person. I'm like, hey man, if it's just you and your wife coming, it's only gonna be about $400. I'm trying to talk myself out of money. And they're like, no, brother, we believe in what you're doing. We appreciate what you're doing. And without all the sponsors, and I'm not pandering, I'm not sucking up. I'm just being honest. Without all the money the sponsors throw into this thing, man, it's still just on that pull away trailer of the first year. And I don't get to go get Silverado and Ben Chapman and Channing Wilson and Adam Hood and Jason Eady and Taylor and Chris Knight. These people, it's my dream and it's my passion, but because the sponsors and the ticket buyers you got behind it, and you guys blasting this out here, man, it's independent. It's independent. This is a special scene of people and music,
Absolutely. And I'll tell you this, if there's anybody that's watching that has some deep wallets and wants to send some money his way, I encourage you to do so.
Yeah, me too.
Lots of zeros if you've got them. The more zeros, the better. So make sure you guys are supporting them in any way you can, even if you can't make a show, which when we started the podcast, I didn't know if I was going to make the show or not. He said he's got tickets for me. Megan, if you don't want to go, say something real quick.
I didn't hear nothing.
I didn't hear anything. So we're going to Tennessee again in October, which I am not upset about at all. Make sure you guys are supporting all local music. But when you see festivals that just really connect with people and that's what you do, you want to support it. And that's why I wanted to get you on, and that's why sometimes I feel like we'll reach out to people and they're like, well, what exactly is it you want from me? And I think I led with that in my text to you, like, hey, just an FYI, we're not looking for nothing from you, like at all. Like we want to have you on because this is what we love to do, is to support music and artists and the independent scene.
That's cool. And that's how we all find it. That's how we all grow. And that's what you did just by having me on and supporting what I'm doing. That's why I can do for you. Like I want to give you, I want to give you tickets. I want to meet you guys. And you know what I'm saying? Like y'all are nice enough to give a damn about my festival. So it's the least I can do is like, hey, come to Tennessee and let's meet up and let's party and have a few of those cold beers. And that's what I tell my wife. And that's she's finally gotten over it, right? Because I'm very, and this is the last thing I'll say, I promise. We'll get the hell out of here. But like I'm very hands-on about the whole deal. This is not me looking for a pat on the back. I'm just very OCD about if I tell Matt to go get my merchandise or if I'm telling Jesse to go make sure the insurance, the porta potties are handled, there's always a chance I'm afraid you're going to screw up. So
Yeah.
I'm the one who messages the musicians or the managers, the porta potties, the stage, the production, the insurance, the merch, the website, down to the businesses, everything, man. It's all has my fingerprints on it. Again, this is not a look at me. I'm doing it all. It's just I'm saying I'm crazy and I can't let it go. And it's a
Yeah.
sickness because I've already booked like 3 bands for 2027 and we're 5 months away from 2026. You know, because I've been in venues where I've told people and they've been pissed. They're like, I want to play here. I'm like, yeah, I sent you an offer. And the one guy was like, my management didn't tell me. And coincidentally enough, that guy doesn't have that manager anymore because he was that pissed he didn't see a North Springs offer come through. I swear I would love to tell you the artist, but I said, hey, look at the flyer, and he goes, how do I?
You can in October.
I'll tell you when.
You can tell us in October.
I'll tell you. And he was like, dude, how do I get on? And I said, I sent you an offer 2 months ago, and you're like, it never came to me. And so when I bring it all, but man, I've got a great staff. The week of the festival, my wife, my mother-in-law, my dad, my stepmom, my friends, ticket buyers. I've got sponsors that gives me $3,000. They're the first ones down the ground putting flags in, or putting whatever. They're putting flags or signs. People come on Monday. Like there one guy, 1 or 2 guys came and were like, hey, can I come on Monday? I'm like, yeah, I work my real job Monday and Tuesday before I even take off. So there's people drinking in my field while I'm at work, and they pick the blackberry moonshine. And then for my wife, the first year we started getting travelers, she's like, I wish that's all I had to do was sit over and talk to people. You're over drinking with that brunch from Florida. And I had finally got her to realize, say, Lindsay, I do all of this to get it here, okay? And I said, all I need you to do is go over there and check people in. I said, do you know how much it means to those people from Florida that they go to Under the Big Sky, they go to Mile Zero, where they don't know who puts on these festivals. If the guy who they just give their hard-earned money to has enough, whatever the word is, to go out there and shake their hand and thank them personally for coming, hell, let's drink a beer. That matters to people, and that's just who I am.
They're gonna love your festival more than anything.
You guys can tell.
On Sunday next time,
huh?
Come on Sunday next time.
Yeah, and some of them probably will, but that's the thing, man. I'm a people person anyway, and so it's not just. I'm not going out there like, damn, I got to go shake these people's hand because I want to do that. I want to meet as many people as possibly can.
Yeah.
And that means as much to me as it does them. But I think they see the genuineness in that and like, man, this dude's all right, and I finally got my wife to realize, like, you may think I'm an ass, but these people think I'm good,
We tell our wives that all the time. You guys can't stand us, but there's people that actually like us.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think it's all about, man. It's just like I tell in interviews, man. It's people don't, damn sure don't talk about politics with people anymore because people are crazy, and religion and sports. But man, music, I said it's amazing. You get people up on the stage with it. They share a love for Addison Johnson, and next thing you know, you got
nothing else matters.
Strangers up there putting their arms around each other, singing out of control at the top of their lungs. It's a beautiful thing, boys. Yeah. Beautiful thing. So,
absolutely, I could not agree more. That's one of the most incredible things about music, is what it does for people.
Yep.
So, man, I tell you what, I am so stoked. I'm going to tell my wife, and she's going to roll her eyes, but we're going to fucking be there for sure.
Y'all can do interviews on site if you want to.
So
if you wanted, hypothetically,
got to pack up the equipment. Yeah, no, that's a done deal. So, any rate, God, I can't even thank you enough for coming on. Honestly, like, I feel like you did more for us than what we could possibly do for you. And I'm gonna plug this shit out of you without fail. Between now and October, pushing your guys' posts, and we'll make a bunch of clips out of this podcast today and share those across all the platforms. And God damn, man, like, I'm stoked.
I've enjoyed it.
I don't even know what else to say right now.
You never know what you're going to get into with these interviews on your end or my end. And I think it's for us never to have met You know what I'm saying? To be able to talk 2 hours, it's been a fun one for sure.
Yeah, it has. And I think we could go another 2 hours if we didn't have families for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to plan on having you back on closer to the festival again and doing another one or
Hell yeah,
something.
let's do it.
But I honestly can't thank you enough. It's been a hell of a time chatting with you. Everyone, October 8th through 10th, Whitleyville, Tennessee, North Springs Music Festival. Phenomenal lineup. The atmosphere, I've not been, so I'm not
in the hayfield.
I'm not going to say that 100% it's the best atmosphere, but I'm telling you from everything I've seen, go look at it yourself. Make your own decision. I'm telling you, the atmosphere is phenomenal from what I'm seeing, and certainly worth the trek to go to Tennessee from wherever you're at, unless you're in California. You can stay there.
Unless you're cool. Unless
maybe,
you're cool and you can come on down.
Yeah, if you're cool. I lived there for a long time as a kid in California, and so I know there's some cool people in the north area where I was. Modesto, John Party's from there. Bakersfield's a cool area. So there's some cool people in California, but there's some sucky ones too. So if you suck, stay in California or New York. If you're cool and you like good music, come to Whitleyville, Tennessee from the 8th through the 10th, or you can show up on Monday and give Dustin a hand with all the chores and everything getting ready for the festival.
I couldn't have said it any better, man.
All right. Well, we will catch you guys next time on
Music Podcast.
Later.